In today's briefing, we will give an update of the increase of the tariffs at the St. Martin Medical Center and the consequences for the consumers. Because after having done a number of research, meetings, and consultations, there are some serious consequences for our members and the consumers on St. Martin with regards to this increase that has not been done according to the procedures that are there outlined when you really go into having an increase go into effect, with the consequences that a 41.8% cost of living or COLA increase to the consumers that will be actually detrimental.
I will start first with giving an illustration of some bills that we got for people to understand how serious this thing is affecting our consumers. I have here an example of a lady that delivered a baby in the St. Martin Medical Center. The total bill for 2-day stay for her and 3-day stay for the baby and up to almost 17,000 guilders. If we look at how would have been the price and the tariff and the cost, her bill would have been 11,900 guilders. So here we see that SMMC, since the 1st of January, for this lady alone, is pocketing 5,000 guilders from her, where she doesn't have an insurance, where she has no income because it is a student that came from the Netherlands after the hurricane, stuck here because of the flights from KLM not renewed and for her to go back. This is an example. When we talk about 41.8%, people have to understand it's not a percentage, it is how much money it will be. And with this example, we can show you hospital bed, 660 guilders now for this lady, for every day being in there. For the baby that had to be in the incubator, over 1,000 guilders now. So when we see these amounts, and you have to be responsible for it, this has also consequences for the insurance companies, also consequences for SZV. So for today, the most important issue for the update for you is this. When we thought that it was only the St. Martin Medical Center that agreed with VSR and with SZV to come up with a proposal for this increase, now after the private insurance companies reacted that they were not going to pay the new tariffs because there was no national degree, when the St. Martin Consumers Coalition has addressed this issue and has illustrated that at St. Martin Medical Center, by starting to charge people with this new decree, these new tariffs, was actually violating their decree, what we did is that we were astonished when we understood from the private insurance companies that Minister Lee is in agreement with this jacking up of the tariffs in SMMC. Not only that, Minister Lee, we had a meeting with him, he promised transparency, but until today, he did not answer our questions for us to understand how heaven you can decide to come up with such a price increase where we don't see what exactly are the arguments. Because let us start with the first argument that was brought up. Also in the letter of Minister Lee to the private insurance companies and to the St. Martin Medical Center, Minister Lee is arguing that the 41.8% is a cost of living adjustment for the hospital. Well, the workers of St. Martin, they know what is the cost of living adjustment. Since 2012, the last cost of living adjustment they got was 50%. They couldn't get the whole of it. They couldn't get the whole increase. But even that, apparently, Minister Lee and the St. Martin Medical Center cannot calculate, because from the Bureau of Statistics, we got a letter that confirmed that based on the price index development in St. Martin from 2004 till 2016, the end, the increase was only 34%. So where they got this extra 8% and labeling it as a cost of living increase, we think that if all the workers from the civil service only could get away from since 2012 with half of the index, then only 17%. Because for 34% real increase of the cost of living, half of it would have been 70%. That would be acceptable if that was the policy from government. But apparently, Minister Lee has a different policy than Ms. Sarah Westcott Williams, who was the actual minister that in 2012 said, no way for civil servants to get a COLA for the full 100%.